All right, hey guys, it is the 21st of April, 2018. We are starting off on the first quarter of the spring 2018 season. A lot of, I want to say mixed reviews at best, but anyways, it is episode 92 of 4Player Animecast. I am, as always, your host, Spire, and with me are my, I want to say accomplices, something.
Your fate accompli. What's it called?
I'm not sure, but I want to just say accomplice.
Fate accompli.
Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
fate accompli. Yeah. Anyways, I guess I'll just start off for myself. I've had a pretty quiet week in terms of catching up to like anime manga stuff. I've actually I hadn't been reading web novels for quite a while, but now I just got back into it. I caught up to everything.
What have you been reading, Spire?
I mean the usual. I mean, I usually.
You got any good Korean ones that I could read?
I don't read a lot of the Korean ones. A lot of the Korean ones are just
What about Book Eating Magician? It's Korean, isn't it?
I'm not sure actually, but I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure if it is Korean. But yeah. Anyways, so I've been on that. A lot of visual novels have been coming out recently, but I haven't checked that out. But the weird thing was the most recent stuff that's come out is like really weird stuff. Like, what is it? It's like the one where the Sailor Moon girls like grow up and then they just become old ladies and then they just get fucked by people, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
What? Yes, I know what you're talking about.
But anyways, I've been reading a little, in terms of anime, I've been watching a couple of shorts here and there, catching up with some of the stuff I watched, like Match with the Girl site, and watching some of the other stuff that my co-hosts will be talking about tonight. But yeah, that's it for me.
Who's your favorite magical girl, Spire?
What, you mean like in which show? Ever?
Who's your favorite co-host?
Yeah, who is it?
Who's your favorite co-host magical girl? It's the real question. But anyways, Dark, you want to go next? What have you been up to these past 2 weeks?
Dodge the question. Maybe the answer was that.
Yeah,
I get to go next, after all. I get the honor.
I should have just been like, what about yourself? It was just like, what?
Is it because Dark is the rarity?
Yeah, see, because he's the white guy.
Because I'm the...
Wow, that's racist. Shit, I was going to say Dark's like the SSR.
There's no such thing.
Of the podcast.
What SSR is he?
And I'm like...
What is he an SSR of? What? Jeez. Anyway, keep going. Dark.
So what have I been up to recently? I don't know. I don't think I've really started watching anything new, per se. I don't think so. I watched that Chinese show with the
really bad names.
Is that what it is? What
is it? Wait, what is it?
No, the one with the mutants. I don't remember what the title is. It's something Jikan, like Family Days, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Subtitle part.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're all like a bunch of mutants, because their parents like experimented on them. But now their parents are in jail.
Isn't it Jikan Hin Kazoku, Creatures Family Days or something like that?
Yeah,
Frankenstein
there you
Family.
go.
Yeah, Frankenstein Family. Here we go. Yeah. All right, keep going.
Yeah, so I started watching that. I'm waiting for the Japanese audio to always come out, so I'm pretty behind on it.
Wow, you're waiting for Japanese dubs? Are you a filthy dub watcher?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, so that was new. Been keeping up with the second half of Clear Card. That's pretty good. Watched Tadakun, Never Falls in Love or whatever. And yeah, it's not that much this season, so yeah, I've just been like kind of getting thoroughly disappointed as I realize more shit.
Actually, I'm gonna say that later. Anyways,
no, you saved that. Keep that in your pocket. Tuck that away from me.
We have a big discussion on the latest episode coming up.
Oh my god.
No, we don't. We don't.
Anyways,
we really don't.
Yeah. Go. But you're up next.
I don't know. I haven't really been doing anything, honestly.
Okay.
Kind of just,
How's it like in Canada, Nier? What anime
uh,
is showing on Canada?
on Canada. Well,
About
Reruns of Code Lyoko.
I don't think anime sprouts up from the ground around here.
Canada.
I might have
We
missed
haven't seen
but,
it after the winter, yeah.
you know, I mean, it's still winter over here.
Yeah.
There's,
Can't expect that.
yeah, the snow is like finally melting, but I fucking hate it up here, man. But
Anyways,
I haven't been watching too much. I just speed
Mhm.
readed the 2 episodes of Hinamatsuri because I was like, oh shit, I have to actually watch something. Damn,
yeah.
that was fun. That's about it.
Okay.
I've been meaning to finish Violet Evergarden, but
Ah,
It's
yes,
on
yes, yes.
Netflix, you know.
yeah, I know. But every time I'm like feeling it, I'm like, I'm
Mm,
kind of
yeah,
tired. I'm gonna go
yeah.
to bed.
Okay. I can understand. Yeah. Okay. And last but not least, Toast.
Hello.
Well, how's your 2 weeks been?
I streamed an 8-man Elven Knight raid last week, Saturday. It was pretty cool.
Okay. Pretty
So,
nice.
out of all the subclasses, right now we're the fastest ones with we're the speedrun champs so far. But don't tell Spire. But I'm currently watching the Soulbender raid right now during the podcast, and I want to see if they beat our times because they're kind of whales.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of anime stuff, what have you been up to?
You know when Nier brought up Violet Evergarden, it's like whenever I want to watch a Violet Evergarden as well, I'm like, if I'm on my PS4, I might as well play Survive, and then I end up playing Metal Gear Survive.
Okay, I'm not sure if that really has a
That
lot to
game's
do with
dead.
Maybe on no, I can still find parties in like 5 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it's because you're not playing on Extreme.
All right.
Oh,
So,
I watched I watched all 4 Inuyasha movies.
okay. I guess so. You had a very interesting
They're not.
flashback to the old
They
times.
don't
Yeah.
age well. Our style does not age well.
Yeah. I mean, Inuyasha is Inuyasha, so it's not like and a lot
It's
of
not
it's
like
like
Outlaw Star where that one doesn't. Or that one looks really bad. Like
but
nowadays, but
yeah. I mean, it's whatever. But anyways, I guess again you'll be talking about one of the series that you watched these past 2 weeks with us. I am the upcoming pod episode, and yeah.
the show that I will talk about later is one side the of
God,
the
you just
coin
like to say that, didn't you, Toast?
that is of this genre this season.
Oh
This
my
genre.
god, genre, the subculture, the subculture. But anyways, I guess we'll just dive right into it. I'll go first. I have just another short. We're just gonna hit these sort of bigger name shorts before we move on to sort of covering the big series at the end of the season. The one I did was Fumikiri Jikan, or also known as Crossing Time. Again, another short done by, I believe it was done by Ekuchi Apilko, which is a very it's like a, I think this is like their first major thing. They probably did like in betweens and like second help with production for everything else, but this is their first stuff. I don't know who the Suzuki Yoshio. A lot of like new blood in here essentially. Um, they brought in like some like 1 or 2 big names, but again, this is like a short, so and they're like switching in people. So like for instance, Okura Yue is in the first episode, so on. But it is about just a series of sketches. I don't know whether it's going to become more deep later on, but I mean it's only like 3.5 minutes worth of content, right? So they can't really do much. But essentially, they're like every episode is a skit. Usually it just has like 2 people, and then it has 2 people like interacting about like, oh man, she's like a pretty girl, but I can't get close to her, or like the two are talking about youth, or the two are talking about relationships and like interacting in some sort of way. So it's like a very light, like slice of life / school life focused skit. And again, it lasts for 3.5 minutes around a railroad crossing. So
Is that how long it takes for one train to cross, or are they like meeting at this railroad crossing just to discuss politics or whatever?
No, the situation is they're at this railroad crossing, and they're just the people that end up at this railroad crossing, like whatever time that they're in, is are the people that are just sort of involved in the skit, essentially. So that's sort of how it works out. But the thing is, like, I like it. I mean, it has an interesting pace, but it's also the fact that they're like individual skits. So like the first skit where it's like it involved this like small comedy thing, and then the other person did something stupid, and then it ended up becoming this like random like Yuri kind of thing. For some weird reason, I was just like, oh, this one is pretty funny. But then the next one, it was just like the entire episode was just like, oh man, I can't get close to this girl. Oh man, what do I do? And then that wasn't very fun. So it's very, very dependent on the skit. So I feel like I just want to I don't know. I just want to keep an eye on this, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to watch like all of it, because there are some skits that are just like, it's kind of whatever. Like I didn't really care for it. But one thing that I did that this short brought to attention was actually what Ogura Yui was doing. So okay, so Ogura Yui is like known for having these like lolly voices, right? Like super like childish, like fucking elementary school, like almost baby like age voices, right? So
Yeah, you would know.
But the idea is that as she grows, obviously her voice changes. Like good voice actors obviously try to like try to fix that as they go along, but it's inevitable that their voices change. So what's happening is like she's trying to like do these roles where she does these like sort of like lower voice, like she's trying to keep her voice down at like a lower register, like a deep voice register, which is very weird because it makes her sound like she's trying to do like a lower voice, kind of like a mixture of like Ayana Taketatsu and like Toyama now. Not Toyama now, actually. I don't know whether it's exactly like Toyama now. It might be a little bit more perky or not perky, but a little bit might be more like a whispery, like how Ayana Sakura does it. But it's like a very like much deeper voice that they're trying to push her in, and it's going to be interesting to see her evolution. And I would not have caught that if it wasn't for this series. So it's going to be interesting watching this. But anyways, that's all I had for crossing time, or Fumikiri Jikan.
How many railroad crossings would you rate it out of 10?
I guess I want to say
between the Nagasone line and the
I know
the Kitetsu line. Which train station do you feel is that?
God damn it! I'm not gonna look up the fucking. But
don't worry, I
is,
just made it up.
Yeah.
Nagasone and Kitetsu are the names of katanas. You would know if you read Rurouni Kenshin.
But it's an interesting series to kind of like spend the time with.
How
but
long
there
is
are
it?
some. It's like 3.5 minutes for the content, probably like 4.5 minutes for the total thing.
What?
But
is that short?
It's pretty short, yeah. But I would. It's a pretty decent watch, but I would warn that there are some more like mediocre skits in there. It's not like one of those like Wakakozake or like sort of those like shorts where it's like every time there is like this like setup, but the setup is like decent enough to just kind of run it. But this is not that sort of short, so you have to be a little bit careful. Beyond that, it's decent, so do check it out. Anyways, that's it from me, and let's move on to Dark. What do you have for us?
I don't know, man. I got comic girls. You
Comic
you like manga?
No, I like American comic girls.
Shit, dude.
Well,
Well,
it's a bad
boy,
time.
do I have some bad.
A bad
Boy, do I
time
got
to be
some
reading
bad
comics.
for you.
So why
They're
is it
bad.
called comic girls? Should it be called manga girls?
Because Man Girl is already taken.
Yeah, Manga
Ah,
Girl
right,
is
right,
actually
right.
already
Can't
taken.
do it.
Exactly what you said.
So somehow, this is a full based on a 4 coma. You know, it's pretty good. It's got girls that make manga. That are a bunch of up and coming mangaka, if you will, living in a dormitory. And 2 of the characters are already pretty established, and the main character and another character are like just getting started. And that's kind of where it picks up. And it's just kind of a basic, pretty basic slice of life comedy.
Okay.
It's done by Studio Nexus.
So can I ask something? I have not watched this yet, but the obvious question that everybody is going to ask is, how does this compare to Shirobako? You know this, right? Like you
How
know
does
this.
How does this compare to Shirobako?
Yeah.
How much manga do I learn from
Nah,
watching this
dude.
anime?
Nah, they're up and coming mangaka. They're not, bro. Like one of them draws 4 coma. Like when
Yeah,
are you gonna get
I
from
know
Shirobako
it's,
out of that? They're all solo.
I'm not saying it's a good question, but I'm saying I'm listing it because it's the question that a lot of people are going to ask.
How is it compared
there
to
are-
mangaka to assistant san?
Probably better, but I've
How
never
does it
read it.
How
So
does it compare to everyday life?
Yeah, everyday life.
it's pretty accurate. I'd have to say it's kind of 1-to-1.
You just
Right.
like wake up in the morning and you're like, man, I'm in the manga academy.
Man,
Wake up and
I've,
I'm like,
I've
shit.
always been a lolly drawing manga. You look at that.
I'm a real life high school girl. Wow,
But yeah.
fancy that.
Overall, the pacing of the series is pretty good. Or what?
Yeah, the pacing's okay. It kind of runs its gambit. Each episode, like,
Is it like slice of life comedy or is it like super serious like Bakuman?
no, it's slice of life comedy.
Okay.
Nah, it's definitely something like comedy. There's no way.
It's not the Bakuman of our generation.
I don't think so. But
Our generation, huh?
what is your generation? But I mean, that aside,
I mean, my generation is Evangelion. I don't know about these young whippersnappers with their recreators and their Darling in the Franks.
yeah, recreators exactly kind of like falling upon them again,
No,
as we discussed before.
He meant ReZero, but
Yeah. Anyways, keep going, Dark.
I don't know where else to go, man.
Who's your favorite comic manga? What's it called? Comic girl.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The blue-haired one is pretty cool, but it's
the
kind
one-
of
is that the
annoying
one
because
that
like her
draws-
one. Huh?
Is that the one that draws the Yuri porn, or is that?
Oh yeah. I should probably actually cover that. So
That's actually what I was wondering.
it's kind of integral
Yeah,
to the series.
so obviously that's like a shtick, but are they a lot of them? Are they just kind of like, yeah, I just draw this thing and then they continually just use that as a prop for their gags, or what's going on there?
Both, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Like their character personality fits in what they draw, and they're with like the genre they're drawing, and it's usually like kind of like the butt of a lot of jokes and how they act. Like the shoujo character, it does a lot of shit that you'd see in shoujo manga.
Okay.
Haha, typecasting.
Yeah, man. Typecasting in my anime, it's more likely than you'd think. Yeah, like the blue-haired one is the shonen drawer, and she is a chuny and a tomboy.
Okay.
The main character draws like chibi 4 comas, so
Yeah.
and then the purple-haired one is forced to draw smut, even though she started out drawing cutesy animal mangas.
That's really funny.
But then the, the producers or whatever, or the publishers are like, you're really good at drawing girls.
Wow, that cat looks
Wait, so
really
what is her
sexy.
personality like? Is she like innocent and then she's like, oh man, I don't know what this
Yeah,
is?
she like she flip flops. Like
Oh, she has
she
like
like tries to
personality
act like it, and then she'll just like get really into it, and she hates it.
shit? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's probably like one of the better of the characters. To be honest, like she has a much better dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of about it. The way the Gambit really goes is like, or the Gambit, the whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like the way the episode rolls out,
Yeah.
usually like it seems like it's gonna be in the beginning. They introduce like basically what they're gonna be doing, at least for the first half of the show.
Okay.
And then based on what they're doing, the main character who's been being criticized by like her publicist and everything like that, or her publisher,
Yeah.
for not having realistic depictions
Mm-hmm.
or like realistic like concepts in her storyboards and mangas to get like them published.
Mm-hmm.
She'll usually try and incorporate that because she's trying to study her own high school life for it to make
Okay.
them more realistic.
Right.
And then by the end of it, she usually misinterprets something that they did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 3 or something. It might have been episode 2 or 3. They go do something with like art supplies or something, but then they wind up getting crepes. And then she starts drawing like a 4 on crepes. But like her storyboards are the same thing almost every single time, just with a different type of crepe. And since she has a chibi art style,
She just draws cheap crepes.
yeah, she can't draw, like she's not drawing like food like from a manga based on food, and that's what her publisher says. Publisher's like, you're doing this, but none of this looks gourmet.
Yeah.
Like, there's no grab here.
Maybe she
Oh.
should draw a food manga instead. Haha.
She can't though, because she can't draw anything other than chibi styles.
Maybe she should do a 4
Since
instead.
she's
Haha.
short, she is trying to do.
Maybe she should draw the SD manga because those are super good. Not really.
But anyhow, so that's kind of how that goes. And so far, there hasn't been a ton because we're only up to episode 3. So it's kind of hard to tell if they're gonna really give more like if they're gonna add more like side characters and have more like actual character development, or if it's just gonna be like
Episodic all the time.
like episodic, like run the course of things.
That's
So
true.
I think the crepe thing was actually a carryover from episode 2 to 3.
Wow,
I could-
a double crepe special. Nice.
I don't know, man. Carryover, even like small carryovers are fun.
By carryover, do you mean take home because the crepes were too big?
Yeah, takeout, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking racist.
No, it's not.
Huh?
What?
Anyway,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Yuri jokes in it.
Yeah.
To be
that's
expected.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Anyways, with that, and then again, if you like this sort of thing, or like sort of more episodic stuff with the sort of shticks running around, please do check out Comic Girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, the main character, I have to look into more ones, but the main character is voiced by a complete newcomer, apparently.
Yeah, New Blood, always good.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Though she does sound like whoever voiced the chibi short girl in Tanaka-kun. She sounds like very much like her to the point where I thought that was her. Like I actually thought it was her this entire time. So, oh well.
Okay,
I guess
that's
it's not. Guess she can fit that hole as well.
Okay, so she's flexible, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, again, thank you for the review. And now we'll move on to Toast.
What's up?
What have you got for us?
But before I start, first you have to go back to the very first.
No.
Very,
we
yeah.
don't.
You have to
Very
go back
first-
Really
to
don't.
the
The very first
quintessential,
boy.
The very first
the
Adam Eve.
quintessential magical girl anime, which we all know
Oh, fuck.
is Madoka.
What the
Madoka
fuck?
reinvigorated the magical girl genre as we know it.
Yeah?
But this
Tell
is
me more
not
about
that
that.
story. This is about a magical girl that's not really that turns into a boy when she transforms. Ha 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 ha. Oh, did I
What?
change the picture?
Alright, man.
I'm talking
Um,
about Mahou Shoujo Ore or Mahou Shoujo Me or I in the masculine form. Because when she transforms, she turns into a guy.
Yeah. Again, I've also seen a bit of
The
this.
basic story is her mom, the pink girl, the main character's mom is a magical girl, but even though she's like what 40 plus now, and then she threw out her back, so they're all like, we need to replace the magical girl. Then this yakuza guy comes up and you're like, all right, we'll use your daughter, and then she's like, okay,
Yeah.
and then.
Well, yeah, it's not exactly like she doesn't really want to do
And
that.
then they do the contract thing, and then she's like, "We're gonna fight these demons, which turn into muscly teddy bears."
Yeah.
And then she's all like, "Yeah, I'll transform." When she transforms, she turns to basically Ayumu from Korwa Zombie Disco, except super muscular and buff.
Yeah,
and
so
no
she becomes
chainsaw.
a magical boy in a sense, like
Yeah.
magical girl, but magical girl dress, but it's like a muscular boy. And then she does. So it's mainly like a comedy series. The pacing is somewhat like
It's a parody of the magical girl genre because there's
Not
lots of
really a-
references in there. There's a Sailor Moon transformation sequence. There's the Cutie Honey song that they did in like the first episode because she's part of an idol group.
yeah, that one is like yeah. I don't know how much they'll focus on the idol stuff,
It's a
but
lot,
I
a
have
lot. It's
I mean,
it's straight up because she's part of an idol group with her best friend, and
yeah,
they're sort of rivals to her best friend's brother, who's
yeah,
also in a
a
male
male
idol
group.
group with some suspicious dude.
But what I feel like could happen is that the series could shift from focusing on the idol like life thing specifically to just being like, oh yeah, this idol brother is doing something, and then later on, the magical girl part all happen instead of really.
There's demons afoot, and they keep capturing the her friend's brother, the idol, and then she's like, "We better save him." But then, since she's also an idol, their manager finds out, but he's a magical girl otaku, so he's all like, "Whoa, that's so cool! You turn into a dude. We could market this, so you'll become like the rivals to your brother." And that's about it so far.
Yeah.
Like it's only 3 episodes. So far, what's happened is the one chick transformed, and then her idol partner also transformed, and that's it.
Okay.
There's not much to go on as of yet, but
Yeah, in an entire hour, that's all that happened.
3
A
episodes,
lot,
so not
a lot of
90
it, a lot of
minutes.
it's just a lot of it's the comedy content. The comedy is the main sort of front of series. Again, as I said, it does have like a nice pacing where it's like they don't focus too much on one sort of type of like shtick, or like they don't rely too much on just doing references or whatever they need to do. A lot of it's just like, oh, this scary thing's happening, but it's not what you thought, because it's like related to like silly magical girl stuff, for instance. So it's like the way that they kind of do the question and answer thing is very, very well done. But I do like the comedy part of it. I hope they focus a little bit more on that instead of trying to do what I'm afraid of is something like too many flashbacks involving.
I mean,
the,
I don't think there will be. Like, so
Well, there has to be because of the brother, of the relationship between the brother and the MC.
But the brother is just he's just the focus of the girl. He's not very interesting by himself so far.
I'm not saying he's not interesting, but what I'm saying is that the writers could have more flashbacks involving him and the main character to build up some bullshit thing, which will maybe either lead into a mini arc or more random comedy. But what I'm saying is, I hope that doesn't either.
Do you mean filler?
Yeah, exactly, filler. But one thing I would like to kind of point out is that whoever is the sound slash like music director in this needs to kind of keep it chill. Like, okay, so
You don't like the magical girl wubs? The bass?
So, okay.
I like it.
Oh no.
No. It wasn't even like maybe if it was like during the transformation or whatever, I'd be okay with it. So there's this like weird like thing going on or whatever, right? Like, or there's this like at the end, for instance, at the end of episode 1, there's like the brothers being taken away by the villain or whatever it is, right? And then the girl, and then like during the action scene, it's like the girl has a flashback or whatever. Or sorry, during the action scene, the music happens, and then goes into the splashback about the brother, like helping her out and like she's in love and she has to go help him, right? During the flashback, the wumps are still going on.
Great.
No, I like that. That sounds great.
And I'm just like, oh my god, is this really happening right
It
now?
puts fire. It adds tension to the moment because this flashback is happening real time. While the brother's being carried away to the demon dimension because he has some magical power that they want him for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right, Tess. But yeah, it's very. I want to say, the sound director puts these dubstep tracks in a very interesting moment of the anime, and I wish he'd check over it a couple of times more sometimes. So that's all I'll say about that. But overall, I think it's a pretty good start, to be quite honest, to the series.
It's a lot better than I would give it credit for.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you like the really weird yet comedic parts of like Kore wa Zombie desu ka?
Or Binan Koko, except it doesn't have the same style of comedy where it's like a little bit more reliant upon the conversation. It's a little bit more like setup, like prop slash setup comedy.
Yeah.
But or surrealism comedy. But
magical girls nowadays, they use guns and explosives because they're more effective. No one uses magic anymore, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like chainsaw. But yeah, it's this is probably more of my type of magical girl comedy thing. It's closer to Kore wa Zombie desu ka, like I said, that I find that I lacked or I didn't like, or which I severely missed, I guess, from something like Twin Tail. Because that was also kind of comedy.
I'm trying to think about what you're talking, because I know there is.
I like my more slapstick humor, and not a funny Twin Tail, haha thing.
You don't want them to push sort of like the reference and like the memes too much, is what you're saying. Sort of, which is sort of what happened in Twin Tails, where they were focusing too much on doing the Twin Tails comedy, which is not necessarily what's happening in something like Kore wa Zombie desu ka or this series. Am I right?
Also, it kind of looks better than some Twin Tail.
Well,
shots.
yeah,
I mean,
that Twin Tail wasn't very well funded. But yeah, I definitely see your point.
It's very light and refreshing so far because I mean, most of this stuff has only the 2 characters in there, but if you watch the opening, there's 2 more. So I'm like, I wonder what these cute girls turn into muscly dudes look like. So there's definitely gonna be more characters, and I want to see how this is going. So I give it it's good. It is the light to the darkness that is the other magical girl show of this season, and I'm not talking about Pretty Honey Universe.
Yeah.
You know
You're talking about Sakura Clear Card.
That's season.
Anyways, again, thank you to us for the review. And again, if you like this sort of more lighthearted comedy, please do check it out. And with that, we will move on to our final series. Nier, take it away.
I
Aha!
kind of fell asleep when you guys were talking about that
Mahou Shoujo Ore.
that last thing. I like I said earlier, I watched a bit of Hinamatsuri just before the podcast,
Mhm.
and it's pretty funny, pretty good, pretty
How much Matsuri is in this Hina?
like 5 or 10.
Nice.
So Hinamatsuri is a I guess a comedy series. So this season by White Fox, right?
White Fox? Probably, yeah. I wouldn't put it past them to release something weird like this. Keep going.
Um, Studio
Oh, feel interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
What have they done?
Um,
they've
That's
done a
good to
lot of
know.
stuff.
they've done a
Um,
lot.
a lot of it's pretty on the more on the harem rom-com stuff side. Though.
A lot like
Um,
Nisekoi, or kinda, or like.
No,
No.
they did Kisses, Mayachiki,
Oh no! Okay.
Katekinai,
Stop there! Stop there!
Takashikashi, Outbreak Company, stuff like that. Yeah,
Outbreak.
so
Takashi Kashi. Wait, Takashi Kashi season 1 or 2?
I believe it is season 1.
Okay.
But anyways, go on. Here.
But so Hinamatsuri is about a yakuza dude who really likes vases, and suddenly some lolly in a weird space pod smacks him in the head and breaks all his vases, and she has telekinetic powers, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? I guess she's my daughter now." And he buys her clothes, and he buys her some sweet zoosh, and
Does she pay
and
for her payback for the vases with their telekinetic powers?
kinda, yeah.
Okay,
But
good.
everything kind of just, there's no questioning the situation really. It's kind of just all right, this is happening.
Is
Um,
it like it's not like a Mob Psycho. It's more like Psyche,
What?
you're right.
Psyche Kuso no something.
Do you mean like
I mean,
Seki Kuso no
it's
Sainan, yeah.
Sainan?
Or disaster.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it's a comedy. But yeah, it's pretty much just the adventures of this yakuza guy and this weird monotone lolly who has space powers, going on hijinks, and it's pretty funny. The Terminator reference at the end, first episode, cracked me up pretty good. Um, but yeah, I mean it's a pretty simple series, pretty solid. It's got some nice, I don't know. Do you wanna help me out here, Dark? Because you've watched episode 3, right?
yeah?
Which episode was the one where they're having the Achimite Hoi fight thing?
That was episode 2.
Okay, I seen that one. It's
Yeah,
funny.
pretty good.
Yeah, I would say the comedic timing is a pretty strong part of the show. Like how it knows how to go, either slow for a joke or really, really fast.
I'm not gonna lie, I watched the show in 2 times speed. Because like I said, I watched this before the podcast.
Was it for a comedic effect or?
No, it's because I needed to watch it really fast. Because
Probably worked out though.
we only had 40 minutes left.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would still work. I'm not too sure how hot I am on the main guy's delivery. Sometimes I feel like sometimes it's a little flat, but
Funny you should say that.
It's flat because
It's his first role.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, I was gonna say flat because his
believe it's
daughter's
also-
flat. Haha.
Haha, it's
voice.
not his kid.
Oh.
But anyway, there's a lot of newcomers in this show.
Okay.
Alright. Shit, yeah, there is, dude. Oh my god.
Who is your favorite Matsuri character? Yeah.
What?
Who's your favorite
Yeah,
Hinamatsuri?
Your favorite?
I don't know. There's like 3 characters.
Which one's
so-
which one's like the Yakuza blonde girl or the one with the sweet jacket?
That's Anzu.
She's
Yeah, she's
another.
pretty cool.
She's another space lolly. She comes from space to defeat the other space lolly, and then they have rock paper scissors battle, and one of them almost breaks their fucking neck.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But
Pretty good
it's-
show.
Don't worry. It's because the gravity's different. That they're more
No, it's
used.
because they're using fucking space powers on each other, dude.
But what about when Vegeta was training in like 10 times Earth's gravity on planet Vegeta, and he got a more
On
strong
Planet
body?
Vegeta.
Yeah.
Oh, Vegeta. Sorry. Go on. What are you saying about Planet Vegeta here?
No, there's no Planet Vegeta in this series, unfortunately.
So wait, are they? Do they live in space, or do they have this like psychic planet that they live on?
It doesn't say.
Not yet? Right.
She comes in some weird pod. She smacks the dude in the head. She breaks all his vases, and then the dude's like, "Okay, this is my life now."
Nice.
moving
That's so
on.
me.
Apparently, they were used as weapons, so probably still unique even in their own world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really. This series isn't one for like I guess character building or world building or anything like that. It's kind of just like, here's these characters. Now they're doing comedy shenanigans.
Right. It's very episodic, yes?
From the 2 episodes I watched, yeah, it's pretty.
Okay.
It seems pretty episodic.
Is it episodic to like like they have like mini arcs within the episode extent, or is it like one episode at a time?
So I believe from I haven't read the manga, so I'm kind of guessing here, but from the flow of the episodes, it seems like they're kind of doing 2 chapters per episode, and it seems like the chapters are pretty standalone. So they kind of just they go through the one bit, I guess, the little chapter story. They do the commercial break, and then they do another one.
Now, when you say daughter, is there like a huge age difference between the two?
What are you saying?
What are you trying to ask here?
It's
Toast?
not-
Stop! No, I know where he's going with it, and shut up.
It's not
Fucking
like the
Usagi drop is about to come out of his fucking mouth.
I wasn't gonna say Usagi drop. I was gonna say
You were
something
gonna
like.
say Usagi drop.
Is
you
this
son of a
something like
bitch.
UFO Valkyrie, where they drop out of space, or maybe Tenchi Muyo, I guess, where we drop out of
No.
space and like I'm a
Those-
space girl and you have this special power, and then like she falls in love with him? No.
No.
Okay, good.
It's-
Because
There's
that's all.
no. I don't think there's any like.
No romantic
I-
interest
I
between
don't-
the two.
I don't think there's character building in here really,
Okay.
other than monotone
The
girls.
characters are set up
smiles.
bad, yeah, initially.
You know, I think it's just a straight comedy series.
No
you know?
Sora, no Toshimono, no deers, nothing that kind of thing. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I'm not an expert, okay? I've only seen 2 episodes in 2 times speed, so
So that means you probably could watch 4 episodes in the amount of
Yeah.
time.
yeah, those. I think there's only 3 out.
You could watch 2.5.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Alright. Anyways, any last words on this? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of watched the show in like a half awake, half asleep.
It
So-
was kind of just there.
So it was kind of like a.
It's cozy.
sort of-
It's
It was
not.
sort of like a fever dream. But it was pretty funny. It might have just been from my mental state, but I laughed. The Terminator joke was really funny. I probably laughed at that more than I should have. I don't know. The show looks pretty nice. It's got a nice style. I'm not sure how faithful it is to the manga, but I assume it's pretty faithful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty funny.
Okay.
Would you
How do you
would you
like
recommend it to
3-year time jump,
what?
or we'll flash forward.
Yeah, it starts off with a flash forward, and then it's like 3 years earlier. Wait a minute. What? But I guess we'll find out.
Alright. Anyways, I guess that was it for Hinamatsuri. Again, do check it out. It's one of the bigger names this season and looking to be pretty decent. So again, please do check it out. And with that, we are finally moving on to the news. The news. And I hope Toast has it, unless he's about to ask me for it, as he does every episode.
Yeah, do you have it?
Fuck you.
Why do you not have this bookmark?
I have a question. Is the stream alive?
Is it? Oh,
I don't know. I just see a loading bar.
no, it's fine.
Looks
0
fine.
drop frames.
Looks fine
Okay.
for me.
Alright.
Never mind.
Alright, so
Unless I'm streaming on my channel and you're looking at that.
No. It's
No.
fine. Anyways, let's move on. So a lot of sort of company-related news, corporate news this week. It's going to be interesting. But anyways, first piece of news. Director Taika Waititi, who did Thor Ragnarok, Boy, Hunt for the Wilder People, confirmed in an interview with a Days Post posted last Thursday that he's still working on Warner Brothers' live-action Akira film project. Waititi has not confirmed whether or not he is the director on the project.
What?
Waititi also confirmed that he plans to adapt the original manga as opposed to the anime film adaptation. His full comment today is as follows: I haven't really started to get my head around it yet. What I wanted to do was an adaptation of the books, because a lot of people are like, don't touch that film. And I'm like, I'm not remaking the film. I want to go back to the book.
That doesn't matter.
A lot of people freaking out haven't even read the books. And there are 6 gigantic books to go through. It's so rich. But the anime, but Akira is one of my favorite films. My mom took me to see it when I was 13, and it changed my life. Blah blah. So
You
yeah.
know, he literally listed why it doesn't matter what he adapts. A lot of people freaking out haven't even read the books, and there are 6 gigantic books to go through. A lot of people don't even know the books exist.
Yeah, that is very true.
A lot of people don't even know that Akira is an adaptation of anything. They just think it's Akira.
I mean, that's what happens with a lot of bigger sort of anime and movie like stuff, right? People are like, "Oh, this is the start of it all," or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're not aware.
You know,
I mean,
anime was invented by Akira.
Yeah. By literally just like hammer force.
what other movies have been done that had like a book or had a film adaptation, but now they want to remake into the book?
Remake it from a book.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly. Nier and Dark will probably be better on that point than I would be.
I don't know.
Willy Wonka?
Maybe Battle Angel Alita.
Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah, actually.
Maybe
Could be
Ghost
based
in
off
the Shell.
manga instead of the OVAs. You know?
Oh, right. Oh, you mean the one with the really creepy face?
Oh wait, actually
Yeah.
no, you're kind of
That
right
shit's
with Ghost in
fucking
the Shell, aren't you?
disgusting. No, Ghost in the Shell was based off of literally everything that Ghost in the Shell has ever been, from the original movie, the standalone complex anime, and
They just kind of messed.
new Arise movies, and it just smashed them all together, and then it threw in robot geishas, and people were like, "Wow, epic!"
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, never mind.
Anyways, let's keep going on. Soul Press, on the sort of visual novel front, Soul Press, recent sort of company, or they made an announcement sort of recently around fall of 2017. They have licensed Yotsunoha visual novel, and they have licensed 2 light novels called Yukishino is the strongest gamer. Let's play another world. I believe the Japanese title for that is Saikyo Gamer Isekai ni te Jikyo Pleichu, which
Wow.
I think
That's so
I've seen. Literally me. And Kokakishine's Battle Divas, the incorruptible Battle Blossom Princess. In Japanese, is Senkan no Mai.
My
But
Hime?
anyway.
Oh no.
Shut up. And it's planned to release the first volumes digital on April 30th. Again, they're running a digital model like a lot of newer models are doing, obviously. So, the product pages for the light novels note that they will receive print releases if they reach a certain number of digital sales. No, that's a bad idea. Just use that fucking money for more releases. But anyways, so if you're looking out for that, that's coming up down the line.
I heard Another World. I'm totally up for that. Isekai. Schlock.
Anyways, yeah, schlock. On the company front, there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to kind of run through quickly. Anime studio Oriental Light and Magic (OLM) its parent company, a magical group, advertising agent, Adways, Shogakukan, Takaratomi, Mixi, and SMBC Venture Capital launched 1.2 billion yen, or about US $11 million, venture capital fund on media content on March 28th called OLM1 Investment Limited Partnership. OLM Ventures, a subsidiary company that Imagica Group, formerly Imagica Robot Holdings, were established last June, is managing the fund. The fund will prioritize cooperation with startup companies and R&D companies outside of Imagica Group, specializing in media content, including the fields of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, video streaming, and smart toys. OLM is best known for production on such anime as various Pokemon television films, anime, and video, as well as Yokai Watch television, anime, and film. So they're kind of merging together to make a project based upon, VR and stuff like that, kind of getting into that field.
Oh no! They're gonna go into the brains market like Yu-Gi-Oh! Virtual reality Pokemon.
I'm not entirely sure about that.
That's like,
but, okay.
I mean, that's Digimon, isn't it? Virtual reality
They're
Pokemon.
probably also looking to share.
Yeah.
But they're also probably looking to skim a little bit off the virtual YouTuber stuff for that sort of shit. Also,
virtual Pokemon tuber.
because they're gonna take from that. They're gonna take the earlier ideas of like the virtual like idol, like the live like animation stuff, and they're probably gonna merge that together in some unholy way. But that's my guess.
Who do you think they're gonna scout out? My bet is on.
They're gonna scout out whoever's
Luna.
at the top. If they're gonna scout, they're gonna be like top 5, whoever.
No.
Them some fucking minimum wage.
Shiro plays the
Probably
dolphin.
Shiro,
dude.
yeah. It's probably gonna be
Shiro
Shiro.
just plays the dolphin. Like she comes onto stage as a virtual white dolphin. That's how it works. But anyways, moving on. Second piece of news. Memory Tech Holdings has fully acquired Pony Canyon. Pony Canyon is a studio / production, sort of, I guess, an anime production like kind of. Subsidiary Pony Canyon Enterprise on March 20th after purchasing 100% of its capital stock. Memory Tech Holdings did not disclose the cost of the acquisition. Pony Canyon Enterprise is a video editing, post-production, and DVD and Blu-ray disc authoring company, and has also been involved with sound production for anime. Memory Tech Holdings is a parent company of the Graphinica, who did Expel from Paradise and Chain Chronicle, Jun Taisen, CG Animation Studio, which it formed in 2009 after acquiring Gonzo's digital video division through its QTech subsidiary. So it's trying to combine a lot of things, but this Pony Canyon acquisition is big. Like Pony Canyon is like a major company in the anime industry. They have they're like pretty much after almost every for instance Kill on Your pre-work stuff, they'll always be like, yeah, Pony Canyon is one of the sponsor companies for this. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where things go.
Did Pony Canyon do Pony Dash?
Shut up.
I think they actually sponsored it, but
Shut up.
anyways, the last piece of company news is Cool Japan Fund Inc. So Cool Japan is a program supported by the Japanese government and various companies that promotes modern Japanese culture such as anime and manga abroad. The program revolves around the premise that Japan's strength in business and international affairs lies in anime, manga, films, fashion, and other fields of Japanese arts and entertainment content. The Japanese Finance Ministry allotted 45.9 billion yen, which is around $403 million in funding for the Cool Japan program for its 2017 fiscal year, a 22% increase from last year. So the current CEO, Nobuyuki Ota, who has held the position since the company's founding, is stepping down, and now they're appointing Kitakawa Naoki as the company's new CEO, who was formerly a CEO of, I believe, Sony Music Entertainment. So this is going to be a little bit strange. You know what I mean?
No,
It's very wrong.
They said there was an increase. But wasn't this shit fucking plummeting not too long ago?
Yeah, it was. The problem is they were just putting it into projects that didn't make any sense, shitty projects that didn't make any sense, right? So
Just fucking shut it down, man.
No, they gotta increase. They gotta tell everybody how good manga is.
Hey guys, have you heard of anime? By the way, here's $6
Have you
million
heard of Matsuri?
dollars. I
It's
don't know
like-
if you heard.
You heard about anime? Here's $6 million. By the way, you can't watch it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very
I gotta make that
ambitious
$6 million back, dude.
it's a very ambitious project, but I'm not sure if just changing, rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic is going to help. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. So they did pump more money into it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't think that was the issue.
Yeah,
I think the issue was that money was being pumped into it in the first place.
yeah. Anyways, next on the line is our friendly neighborhood company, Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll announced on Thursday that it's launching an anime blog on Brazilian television on April 21st. The hour-long blog will play subtitled episodes of Black Clover and ReZero from 8 p.m. to 9
Black
p.m. on
Clover and
Saturdays,
ReZero, nice.
and rerun on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. The blog will also feature 8 minutes of local programming with Crunchyroll's Brazilian community managers, Malu and Bia Purin.
So are they going to be dubbed in Brazilian?
Oh, we just said sub, dude.
His subs, right? But yeah, so if you're Brazilian,
Are they going to be
anime
Brazilian
fan-
subs?
No,
I would hope so.
No, they're gonna be fucking Chinese, dude. What the?
Anyways, final piece of news. First, a little bit of sobering news. As of Tuesday, 3:32 JST, the Manga Mura, which is one of the major manga sort of piracy aggregation sites, Manga Mura pirated manga website became inaccessible after the Japanese government named it among 3 sites that should be blocked for providing pirated manga, digital magazines, and other copyright content. However, the Asahi Shimbun newspaper reported on the same day that the site did not shut down due to site blocking from internal internet service provider. It said it was voluntarily shut down by its administrators. Well, so this says the NHK claims that it can be traced back to America, UK, and other countries throughout the world. But I'm pretty sure this is the actual base is in Japan. But anyways, the Japanese government officially asked internet service providers in Japan to block access to pirated manga websites on April 13th. It requests asset providers to voluntarily block access, but the government plans to create new legislation in 2019 to expand the scope of site blocking. Currently, the site blocking law is only applicable to child pornography. Okay. But yeah.
Damn.
So, the government
Asha's guy.
Yeah. The government has said at the time that it was targeting 3 sites, Magamura, AnyTube, and Mio, adding that if it finds new websites, it will set up a consultation body made up of service providers and experts to decide on how to respond. The government also plans to submit a bill to the Diet aimed at restricting quote-unquote leech sites, which aggregate and provide links to other sites that host pirated content. So they're moving a little bit on it, but right now they're doing it on a very local basis. They're doing it pretty much like, oh, ISPs in Japan, you guys shut things down, which is it could work if it couldn't, I don't know. Well, the major thing is if, for instance, you know how there was a news 1 or 2 episodes ago about the Chinese people that were uploading it to some other places. If they kind of just chuck it off to other places outside of Japan, or if they have servers outside of Japan, then it doesn't really matter either way, right? So this is going to be interesting because right now they have a very local scope, but the shit will hit the fan if they start trying to reach outside, right? So what do you guys think about this?
I mean, I think the shit's gonna hit the fan for them if they try and expand it outside because at least US ISPs are pretty fucking terrible, so I can't see them properly enforcing any of this to any lengths.
And again,
They don't even know how to fix their own fucking service, let alone you're oh, the Japanese government wants us to block these sites.
Yeah, exactly. And moving servers and dealing with, other maybe more lax laws in Australia and Canada and stuff like that are also going to be pains, right?
Yeah, so it's not going to work.
Yeah. So final piece of news before we move on to some people stuff. Animation studio PA Works announced on Friday that it has launched a new ebook label named PA Books. The new label's debut work will be a novelization of PA Works' True Tears anime by writer Toru Fujimura, with illustrations by Umehito Ueda, the anime's character design. So very interesting. The label's website states that the label's aim is to produce short stories that will release every other week. So digitalization of I think they say short stories. Oh wait, in an attempt to emulate the feature of watching an anime television, they're like trying to say short stories, but I feel like sooner or later they're just going to license like light novels and end up with like a standard digital model either way. You know what I mean? Horikawa added that in. So okay, P-Works president Kenji Horikawa commented on the label, stating that it also allowed the studio to explore the stories of the studio's anime further without needing to gather all of the previous staff members or a lot of significant budget. So it's like, oh, so they're trying to steal this. They're trying to steal the spin-off, right? Because before they had to outsource the spin-off, right? But now they're like taking spin-off money too. Horikawa added that in the future, the label will allow the studio to publish original novels, stories, and manga, and leave the possibility open to a producer choosing to adapt such stories. Yeah, they're trying to like steal like some of like the spin-off money and stuff like that, and maybe trying to get it to the digital model. But do you think it'll stay? Do you think they'll actually put an effort to creating like this sort of side story, like spin-off kind of thing, or do you think they'll just be like? Do you think they'll just kind of give up pretty quickly and be like, yeah, we're just gonna hire like light novel people to just make stuff, or we're just gonna license some, up and coming like web novel guy and have him write stuff. Where do you think it's gonna go?
Well, I mean, they're gonna run out of writers pretty fast if they don't
Yeah,
start looking for light novel people.
Yeah. So
If they're saying they're gonna release it like every other week?
every week or every other week, yeah. Every other week.
You need multiple writers working on something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna. It's obvious that they're trying to be very greedy. You know what I mean? Because they're like, yeah, like these like spin-off things that we have to pay for. Nah, nah, we're taking that money. But if they start running like a digital department, PA Works is going to be in a very interesting spot, I think. Only really one other like production IT is in somewhat of a small situation, but similar situation. But even then, they have like a general like umbrella company, right? Whereas PA Works is not in the same position. And PA Works is already kind of scarce on like providing anime throughout the year. So it's going to be interesting to see how their schedule is affected by this and how their funding generally is going to be affected. We'll see how it works out. On the people side of the news, just two pieces of somewhat sobering news today. First is Sakaguchi Kenji, who played Doberman Yamanoi in the live-action adaptations of Ikebukuro Westgate Park novels, and Ryutaro Asada in the live-action adaptation of Team Medical Dragon. He said that he has an incurable disease, idiopathic osteonecrosis of the femoral head, and that he will take an indefinite medical hiatus from the entertainment industry to focus on treatment. He'll end his contract. He'll end his contract and resign from his agency at the end of May. And the actor has had pain in his right hip since 6 years ago and had surgery performed 3 years ago. So yeah, this is just like hip joint dysfunction, not curable as of yet. So again, condolences to him and his family, and hope for a possible recovery. And second piece of news. This is, I believe, this after, singer Keiko Kubota, who is one of the singers in Calafina, announced on the official website of three-member female singing unit Calafina on Friday that she left the group effective on April 1st. In addition, the site revealed that Wakana Otaki and Hikara Masai will continue to work on musical activities. She was sort of the lower part of Calafina's songs. This was a little bit after Kajiura Yuki, who left both the agency and the group in around, I want to say, February-ish. But yeah, it's unfortunate because after Kajiura Yuki left, they were like, yeah, they're all going to work together, but it seems like there's going to be a falling out pretty soon, like dominoes are falling kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Can you really have Calafina without Yuki Kaijiro? That's the big question.
I mean, that's sort of a danger, right? It's
have you heard Cardio Kyokai and all this stuff that she did? Really
no, what I'm saying, it's like that's the danger of these types of groups, right? It's like if you're not making your name outside the brand, like Kajiura Yuki like made her like super big name outside the brand, and then the singers kind of have to start like folding right after she left. So it is very unfortunate for the group. What about you guys? Dark, Near, any comments?
I mean,
If they're leaving, they should form Fiction Junction 2 or whatever the successor to the previous project was.
I'm kind of toast. You can't really have Calafina without Yuki Kajiura.
Yeah,
Like-
it's just unfortunate for the singers left in the group.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, please wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors, all three of them, as well as Kajira Yuki. And we'll see where the future of Calafina goes.
Nowhere.
And with that, don't feel like that, Toast. But anyways, with that, we are done with the news, and we will move on to shoutouts and callouts. Everybody gets one shout out, one call out. Shout out as one thing, item, person, anime, trend, subculture, genre, magical girls, dark magical girls, light magical girls that you want to talk up. Give 10 out of 10. And call out is the exact opposite. So, flag, body of water, thing, dish, whatever that you want to insult. 0 out of 10. Would never recommend this. And everybody, again, one call out, one shout out. Anyways, we'll start with Dark.
Shit, dude. Shout out to Closers for being a fun game.
Closers is just the worst version of DFO.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's
Yes, it
not.
is.
It's better. It's better.
Why
It's
would you
better in
have
every
a
way.
count-wide
It's
stamina?
3D. It's 3D.
Why would you have a
No,
count-wide
it has.
stamina?
Oh my god, it has both, dude. It has
Why does
both.
it need both? DFO
Because you
just
can
has
play
character
like
stamina.
you can play like 3 characters a week, and it
Wow.
takes hours. Actually, and the dailies and the raids and stuff don't add to your stamina anyway. So the stamina is only for story and experience points. Shit.
Wow, that's just like DFO.
Whatever, man. This game's 3D. DFO's pixel graphics. What is this? The Nintendo Entertainment System?
All right, and your shout out, or sorry, your call out, excuse me.
Shit, I forgot what I was calling it this week. I actually had something too. Call out to 3D Kanojo. It show's bad. It show's like really bad. Inspire needs to do a reaction cast of it at some point because it's really, really funny how like
How bad it is?
not good it is. Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. It's all over the place. It's just like degrading and deprecation all over, and just not good.
I mean,
I got Jesse in watching it because of how fucking
series
bad
just
it
kind of
is.
end up that way. It's again very unfortunate. But anyways, Nier, shout out to call us, please.
Shit, dude. I don't fucking know. Callouts to you know what? Fuck it. Callouts to Crunchyroll, cause I haven't really been following it too much. But you remember way back we had on the news that Crunchyroll was getting into video game translations, publishing, stuff like that. And they were doing Danmachi, the mobile game.
Yeah.
And
How much you know.
What?
and we were kind of like, well, that's probably gonna be fucking shit. And turns out we were right. Apparently, when it was announced, people were like, "Yo, this isn't gonna be like censored or anything, right?" I'm like, "Nah, no way, dude. There's no way, man." And apparently, game came out not too long ago, couple weeks ago, I think. But apparently, it's very censored. And they even have like sort of a petting mini game thingy where like you tap the character.
Oh yeah, that's become pretty standard. Yeah,
I didn't know
No.
Treehouse made this game.
Yeah, there's a mechanic like that in the game in the Japanese version, right? And in the localization trailer, that mechanic was advertised to be in the game, and It's not in the game. They took it out because they thought it was inappropriate. And
Yeah, and Danmachi.
That's
Appropriate.
Crunchyroll might be in trouble for false advertising. So very interesting.
Wow, it's almost like trying to be like, wow, this series is popular. Let's just make something out of it without thinking of, what we might actually want, like what crowd we might be able to sell to even in the first place is a bad idea.
Well, because it's Crunchyroll is like Crunchyroll itself is basically run by people who are in Anime Club, and they're
Yeah.
fucking stupid,
So,
and they like that shit where they're like, in the game, who would do such a thing? Meanwhile, they're consuming content from a culture that desires that completely.
yeah.
And it's just this weird disconnect where it's like, do you not understand where this is coming from? It's like basically someone who cries while watching Food Inc. and like it is like, wow, this is so disgusting, but then we'll go out and eat McDonald's anyway because they like the way it tastes.
It's kind of, I don't know what to say. It's kind of unfortunate. But anyways,
it's
building really
that's
stuff.
like if you remove the servants from fake Grand Order. Yeah, you can't do that.
anyways,
Sure.
Yeah.
anyways, Nier, shoutouts please.
Shoutouts to Halo Online. Came out a while ago. It's Halo 3 on PC. And it's free.
And in Russia.
Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty fun. Pretty neat. I was playing it yesterday and it's pretty good. Pretty good. I like Halo 3.
Anyways, Toast.
Spire, I want you to go first. What are your shoutouts and callouts?
No. There's a reason why I'm saving one for last.
But it's kind of rude when you go. I guess I'll go last. It feels like we're taking advantage of you. So I'm going to ask you, what are your shoutouts and callouts?
Motherfucker. All right. So my shoutout. God, my stomach hurts. Sorry. Settle in here.
You fucking
okay?
killed him, Toast.
All right.
Yeah. My shout out is honestly to whoever created Niji Sanji, which is
Aren't those Sanji's Niji? Isn't that Sanji's brother in One Piece?
the fuck are you saying?
You said Niji Sanji, and that's Sanji and his brother Niji.
No. Well, okay. I know what. Stop. Okay. Stop. We got too far. But the point is, Niji Sanji is a face recognition plus VR application or VR integration application developed for the iPhone X. That is wildly popular in Japan because as long as you do have the iPhone X, which is still expensive, but it's not expensive as having a smartphone and also getting a Vive and everything else, right? So as long as you have the iPhone, you can use this face recognition technologies to apply like VR stuff on the virtual YouTuber stuff onto you, right? The face cam kind of stuff. So it's been growing a lot in Japan, and it's created these like really interesting scenarios. Again, creating the underground sort of quote unquote underground anime industry, as I've mentioned before, in Japan, and bringing a lot of people who wouldn't have necessarily played sort of, I guess, like Let's Plays or created YouTube content or whatever through to sort of the mainstream, right? Because they were too shy or whatever, but now they can have a face cam and they can get viewers while still providing the service.
Is that like Is that like the underground virtual YouTube kind of thing? Is that what they're using for their face cam?
What?
Are they using this VR app for virtual YouTubing?
Yeah, they're using it for virtual YouTubing.
Okay.
But the people who are using it are the people who are like, they're always the ones that are like, oh, I'm aiming to be a voice actor, or I'm gonna just be like this like media content creator, or I want to do this. And they obviously couldn't get into the industry before, right? Because it was such like a pyramid. But now they're kind of creating their own market. But again, I've mentioned that before. But the idea was this popular thing kind of made it explode, and now there are literally YouTube videos of like 6, 7 different like Niji Sanji people just like talking to each other, and it's like the weirdest shit ever. But it's really funny, and I'm really glad that this happened because it shows the example of like people creating this new market, creating this new content, like a new era, just to I guess like make stuff from themselves, but also like because they were like completely blocked out of the top, right? So they're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make a new market. I'm gonna create new content that appeals to this like new niche that people didn't even knew that they wanted. So very interesting. So I'm doing a shout out to that. Call out is I think you guys mostly know what's coming, but call out to the people who are like just talking about Darling in the Franxx in general. Just
That's
like
fire. Is she a thought or not?
Stop.
My God.
but the thing is, it's just like, look, I've seen more of like Darling in the Franxx and stuff like that, like actual like anime, not just like the clips and stuff like that. I have my reservations with what they sort of imply that they would promise in the series versus what they've actually delivered. And I'm not sure if the writers are actually up to delivering more, or if they're just kind of ended at like delivering the sort of happy mecha stuff, the sort of the romance stuff, and then they kind of just cut it after developing the background plot a little bit more.
Well, they
But
did
for
receive death threats, you know.
Yeah,
and they've-
so that's what I got to. So for sure, what I am sure about is, as much as I have reservations on how far they can go above and beyond, it is definitely not a series that is worthy of, like such like harsh criticism. Like it's not like an actual like terrible series. Like Guilty Crown is legitimately a bad series. Like characters are doing stuff in there, and I'm just like, oh, this is just like really stupid. Like even if they were made tools as part of the story, that's just like really stupid. Like regardless of how crazy like the story is, Dan Eagleman in Guilty Crown is not justifiable. That is not even a character. That's just like a meme. But in this, like the drama that happened and people watching Darling in the Franxx, there's like a lot of like love triangle drama happening. And what happened as a result was that apparently the director of Darling in the Franxx got death threat and like harassment, and like everybody criticized him on like social media and stuff like that, just for making the childhood friend kind of
Ichigo's
bitch out.
voice actor got it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! But it's like the problem was, it's like first of all, you knew this was coming. It's like it was very obvious that the childhood friend was set up to be sort of not only the foil, but sort of this catalyst for making the main hero be like, oh, I'm not her. Fuck. And then reach the boiling point, go insane, do the yandere fetish a little bit, and then resolve the love triangle a bit. You know what I mean? Like it was obvious that this was going to happen with anyone with any experience of how these anime plots run.
Dude, the childhood friend never loses, alright? I've never seen a show in which they lose.
The friend zone is the first place zone, but so it was pretty obvious to anybody that was sort of how it was set up, and that it would kind of result in the whole like, oh, you've gone too far, you've become too angry, blah blah blah. But for some reason, everybody just fucking lost their mind. They were just like, I can't believe this childhood friend did this thing and blew everything up. Well, of course they did. That's the point of the character.
I mean, this sounds kind of like the Nisekoi debate all over again to me.
Sort of. Yeah, I mean, again, using a character as a tool doesn't posit great vibes for me unless the story itself is very solid and they're focusing on the story. The problem with Nisekoi is that the plot the characters were kind of whatever, like kind of running their own shticks and just kind of keeping with their own shticks. But it was also that the plot was cock blocking characters' development. But that's another. Again, Darling in the Franxx did some stereotypical things that resulted in a standard manner, but everybody's just like, oh, she did something, oh, bitchy, I can't believe this is happening. And then it gets resolved in a standard but feel happy way, and everybody's just like, this is the best episode ever. Oh my god! Like, guys, like, the idea is not whether something is like, oh man, happy, or oh man, this is a sad ending. Like, people can enjoy sad endings, and people can enjoy bittersweet endings, right? The point is whether it's resolved well. And
Not when it's me.
not when it's me, yeah. And this whole
Hero is
Fire.
me.
It's my opinion.
yeah, that's true. I
It's fine.
apologize.
I am Hero.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this.
And I'm literally getting cooked right now. But
I physically identify as the main character in Darling in the Franxx, so
yeah. Attack helicopter and Darling in the Franxx. But the idea is that like people just need to take it in stride and need to understand the idea of when a story, what a story is doing that, deserves their criticism. There are things that probably deserve criticism in Darling in the Franxx, but having a character, be an asshole is not necessarily a reason. Like characters can't be assholes. They just need a reason. And I'd say Darling in the Franxx got sufficient reason, both inside the story and outside of it, generally as being used as a tool. So, just call out to these people who clearly thought it was necessary to send out death threats to a director for doing something that wasn't. I mean, it wasn't great necessarily, but wasn't anywhere near worth a death threat.
I mean, this isn't like Orimo level shenanigans or the end of Haganai level shenanigans.
Not even close. Not even close. And I would know. Like I fucking exploded when that Haganai afterward was translated and came out. I was like so angry. But this was not anywhere near close. It's just. But anyways, Nier, I feel Nier's gone silent. I don't know whether he's dead, sleeping, or he's just not wanting to comment on this.
I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it. Like, fucking people that watch anime in Japan are fucking insane. They're completely
the Western fans were pretty complicit on this, but yeah, sending the death threats and stuff like that, and just fuck it.
Well, I mean, that's another point too. Is that I don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers here, but this is a Trigger show, right?
Yeah.
And Trigger fans are fucking retarded, right? Trigger fans are like Shaft fans, but if they they screamed really fucking loud, they get so riled up over anything that Trigger is related to, and it's guys, it's a fucking TV show. Calm down, man. Who cares?
Especially when A1 Picture is fucking forcing them to do this anyway.
Yeah, holding them at gunpoint, man. If you're gonna send anybody death threats, send them all to A1 Pictures.
Yeah, what was really funny was at the beginning they're all like, "Man, I can't believe A1 is holding them back down." And then when this character comes up, they attack the director who's in Trigger, right? He works mainly with Trigger. If I remember.
I don't know. I think he's a freelancer or somewhere.
Yeah. But
that's because they'll be like, "Oh, I can't believe that A1 is ruining this." By the way, Trigger is the only people doing this great show that I love so much. By the way, gotta be only Trigger, no one else.
Did the Kumamiko anime also elicit death threats? I don't remember.
Yes.
Oh
yeah. It wasn't. I don't know if it was death threats, but it was a lot of harassment.
It was
very sure they got death threats. I am absolutely certain they got many death threats.
It was very unfortunate how it ended up. But again, it's things like this. Just people just need to chill. I don't know what else to say. People just need to chill, and I don't know whether it's my place to say this, but maybe use a couple more brain cells to recognize what should actually be criticized. And
I mean, think about what you're fucking watching, man. It's a teen angst drama with a backdrop. What? Come on, man.
It's this thing where it's I'm not saying you have to praise the way that they started up and resolved it. For sure, if she kind of just bitched out and was whatever, like it's understandable, but it's not like a new thing, right? And then the way they resolved it, of course, like you've become too much of a monster, and then Zero Two kind of calms down and stuff like that, and then she comes back crying and stuff like that, right? And that's also reasonable, but pretty standard. That's sort of how it goes. And yeah, like if it resolved in that way, you don't necessarily have to praise it to the skies, but you should understand that's sort of how a standard plotline ends, or starts and ends in these sorts of teen angst series, as Nir mentioned. So to criticize this out of all the other sort of teen angst, mecha related whatever series is kind of interesting.
What other are there? The Evangelion and what?
Like 60% of Gundam series.
They're not very angsty. That's more politics kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude, I remember Blooded Orphans. There was no angst in that whatsoever.
Yeah,
The entire show was a fucking love triangle,
a
dude.
lot of mecha stuff has fucking teen angst in it. But
But yeah, anyways, either way, it was the way this all dropped out. It was very. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how. It'll be interesting to me, but I don't know how Darling in the Franxx will be viewed in the future. I hope it's viewed in a much more like positive, like, oh, check this out, it's kind of interesting light. Again, I don't think there's anything like really offensive. I am not currently that impressed with it, but I don't think there's anything like offensive to it that I'm just like, oh, fuck this series, man. Or so I do hope it's not like covered by all this garbage outside of the anime drama that's come out so far. But yeah, that's my shout out to call outs. Fuck you, Toast, for not letting me go last. What's your fucking shout out call out?
Is this on? Alright. My shout outs to the 80k raid that I did last week. Yeah, you guys are cool. Yeah,
Okay, and your call out?
we got 101 viewers on that.
That's not a call out.
And he didn't
That's
plug the
my shout out.
podcast.
I forgot.
Yeah, okay, so what's your call out?
This call out is to sickness. I'm sick.
Is it just sore throat? Is it cold? What is it? Spring bug?
When I get a sore throat, it usually follows up with a fever. So
Okay.
I probably
Yeah,
have a fever.
Yeah, sorry to drag out on this podcast. Hope you get better
Cover
soon.
your head, dude.
It's not dragging out. It's like what? This
Fall
one's
asleep with the
really
air
short.
conditioner on.
Yeah. But I just saying, I just drink some warm drinks. Hope you recover
You can't
fast.
tell me what to do.
All right. Anyways, thank you, Toast, for your shout out and call out. And with that, we are done with episode 92. Again, we did cover a little bit more of the smaller series, except for Hinamatsuri this episode. But as we get into the season, there are more like 5-6 episodes, blah, blah. We'll be covering more of the bigger series, bigger names, bigger series. Watch out for that. And with that, we are off. If you do like what we do, we stream a live recording of our recording every other Saturday starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/4Player Animecast. That's the number 4. You can follow us here. You can follow us on our social media on Facebook, as well as on Twitter at 4PPAnimeCast. That's our handle. On our website, 4PlayAnimeCast.mo, where we have our content. And yeah, you can check us out there. Check us out here, where we'll be talking about the latest and greatest in anime, manga, light novel, web novels, visual novels, and all other forms of Japanese animation media. So until next time. Okay.